Hello, welcome to Spill the History Tea. Imagine you're a project manager with huge performance pressure. Your boss has given you a great promise to go to the east to find gold. As a result, you went through life and death and accidentally broke into an unknown continent. Instead of realizing that this is a new world, your mind is blown away. Report to your superiors, boss. I found the Garden of Eden mentioned in the Bible. This sounds like a fairy tale, but it is the most important and most blundering landing in the history of human navigation. Today is August 1st in history. Let's talk about the great navigator Columbus. The bizarre story of how, under immense pressure, the South American continent was transformed into a paradise on Earth. Our protagonist today, Christopher Columbus. In 1498, he was at the lowest point in his career. He completed his famous first voyage, and everyone thought he had found the golden route to Asia. However, the second voyage, although larger in scale, was not as satisfactory. Not much gold was found, and the colonies were poorly managed. When he returned to Spain, his former supporters became skeptics. His rivals spoke ill of him in front of the king and queen every day. He's a boastful liar. Columbus was under great pressure at the time. To restore his reputation and prove that he is not just talking nonsense, he finally got the chance to go to sea for the third time after much effort. This voyage is a battle that he cannot lose. His KPI is very clear. He must find the real continent, find the legendary Kingdom of Gold. In May 1498, Columbus's fleet set sail again. This time he chose a more southerly route. Because at that time, there was a popular saying in Europe that precious metals like gold could only be formed in hot areas. So Columbus thought if he drove wherever it was hot, he would probably hit a gold mine. Although this logic sounds a bit metaphysical, he firmly believes in it. But he didn't expect that this route would take him into a devilish sea area called the equatorial doldrums. There, the sun is blazing, the sea is as calm as a mirror, and there is not a breath of wind. The fleet was stuck at sea, and the fresh water and food began to spoil. The crew members were listless and on the verge of collapse. Just when the entire fleet was in despair, a turning point appeared. On July 31, 1498, lookouts discovered 3 peaks at the end of the sea. The whole ship was suddenly filled with joy. Columbus thought it was a miracle. The island was named Trinidad, which means Trinity. The moment that truly determined the course of history occurred the next day, August 1st. As the fleet sailed westward around Trinidad, an endless expanse of lush green land appeared before their eyes. This land is what we know today as the South American continent. The specific location is the Paria Peninsula in Venezuela. Columbus and his crew became the first Europeans to land in South America. Logically speaking, he has completed his mission of finding the continent and can go back to report. But a strange phenomenon made Columbus deeply confused. It also led him to embark on a path of imaginative interpretation. He discovered that the seawater near the mouth of this continent was actually fresh. And there is an extremely powerful freshwater current rushing out from the depths of the continent. It is so powerful that it can even affect the direction of ocean currents. As an experienced old navigator, Columbus knew very well. Only extremely vast land and huge rivers with astonishing water volume can cause this phenomenon. The land before him could never be the Caribbean islands he had encountered before. So the question is, where is this land with a super river? According to Columbus's own theory, he should be in the southeast of Asia. But whether it is Marco Polo's travel notes or any other literature about the East, no one mentioned that there is such a place in Asia. Columbus now faced a difficult decision. Either admit that all your previous judgments were wrong and this is not Asia at all, but a whole new world. Or we must find an explanation for this phenomenon that can be embedded in our own Asian theoretical framework. Columbus chose the latter and began an epic journey of self-persuasion. He pondered over it, and finally a groundbreaking idea came into his mind. He solemnly wrote down his conclusion in his logbook. The land beneath his feet is exactly the origin of mankind described in the Bible, the Garden of Eden, a paradise on earth. You heard it right. It's the Garden of Eden where Adam and Eve lived. His logic is this. First, the Bible says that the Garden of Eden is located at the end of the world in the east. I am now in the right geographical location. Second, the Bible says that there were 4 great rivers flowing out of the Garden of Eden that nourished the world. This huge river flowing in front of us must be one of them. The third and most daring assumption is that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's like a pear with a nipple-like protrusion at the top. The Garden of Eden is located at the highest point in the world. So this huge stream of fresh water flows down from Mount Heaven. This explanation seems fantastic today. But for the persistent Columbus at that time, this was the only perfect answer that made him believe that he had arrived in the East. He would rather believe that he has found the entrance to the myth than overturn his original goal of sailing. Thus, a misunderstanding that profoundly influenced world history was born. Columbus excitedly declared in his report to the King of Spain, "He found a paradise on earth where the land is fertile. The pleasant climate is a holy land given by God." Until his death, he believed he had reached the edge of the Asian continent, and America was just an unexpected incident on the way to India and China. The interesting thing about history is its drama. It was another Italian explorer named Amerigo Vespucci who really gave this new continent its name. Amerigo made a careful investigation and rational analysis during his subsequent voyage, boldly put forward a subversive view. This land is not Asia, but a brand new mundus novus, a new world. Later, a German cartographer published a world map. In honor of Amerigo's insight, the continent was named America after him. In this way, the discoverer Columbus spent his whole life looking for the route to the east. The namer Amerigo used reason and facts to reveal the truth about this land. Columbus's unexpected landing was due to a huge misunderstanding, but it initiated centuries of complex exchanges between Europe and America, completely changed the face of the world. The potatoes, corn, tomatoes, and peppers on our table today all originated from the Great Columbian Exchange. So you see, the course of history is often filled with all kinds of unexpected coincidences and turns. The landing on August 1st, 1498, is a story of pressure, obsession, and surprise. It tells us that sometimes a discovery can change the world. It may have started with a complete mistake on the wrong set. Well, that's all for today's Spill the History tea. If you also like this kind of interesting historical story, don't forget to like, follow, and share me. See you next time. Bye.